I literally read it so many times. I'm reading it backwards now.
I think this is a good note for everybody out there.
He says that I don't pull well on TikTok, so
He doesn't. It's
videos
just a fact. It just doesn't pull well. It's called social media for a reason, and it's not selfish media.
I just gotta clear something up. You weren't the 12th man on the field right now, right?
There is no easy way to get anything ever. Now I do. Now I get it. Now there's a lot of sound in my ears.
This is Mornings with Matt, the Deering Acting Studio podcast, where we discuss the connection between life and acting.
Alrighty then. Good morning. Welcome to Mornings with Matt, the Deering Acting Studio podcast, where we discuss. Why do I repeat almost the exact same thing?
I don't know, but it's cool. I mean, it's like
I like the all right.
Sometimes repetition is like important.
Repetition is king. Welcome to Mornings with Matt, the Deering Acting Studio podcast. We do connect life and acting, Joey.
We really do.
I feel giddy, dude. I feel giddy.
Giddy. That's because all the holiday spirit out in our lobby right now.
Yeah, and thank you to Samantha King. Big shout out to Samantha King. Can I get a round of applause for Samantha King, Joe man? Yeah. She's like the king of the kids class.
I wish we still had the da-da-ch, but we don't.
I know. We need more sound effects.
Yeah.
That's what the people want.
That's what Miss Astra Gabriel said.
Yeah, so
some more like s'mores sound effects.
And the you know what? So for tomorrow, we're gonna have more sound effects. I'll put it out there right now.
Playing with it today. Yeah.
Bro, I'm so bright right now. But that TV might not be accurate.
I promise you're brighter on the TV than you are.
That TV is the worst.
It really is.
We should get a new TV today too.
The worst. That would sound great. Yeah.
I'm like all in the mood of like the Christmas spirit right now.
Now is the time to ask Matt if he needs something. Like, hey Matt, can I have like a $200 raise? Yeah.
Sure, no problem.
Spirit, dog.
So today's about speaking up, okay? And I know here's the deal. I'm writing the book, The Best Listener in the Room, which is about listening. So it feels counterintuitive to be talking about speaking up. But this is actually a very, very important part of the book. It comes as the last chapter, actually. And without going into detail of the book, I just want to talk about some of the concepts here, which is after you've been listening for a while, after you've been soaking everything in and you've been the best listener in the room, you really want to be one of those people that are willing to speak up, willing to say something. I can tell you right now, I don't respect people that don't speak up. And I think a lot of people are that way, whether or not they speak up about it or not, I don't know. But a lot of people would agree with me that it's hard to respect somebody that doesn't speak up. I remember Joey's over here fixing my light. Thank you, Joey. See, I spoke up because I was like, I'm too bright. I was so whiny. I was like, Brian. I was like, Brian, I will make fun of you every day till you're healthy. So that if that doesn't like jumpstart your kidney, I don't know what will. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean,
Brian's like, I'm done with this. I need to get my kidney working, and the kidney's just gonna go. All the like juices come in, and that's how it works. There's now that you're
health lesson for the day, everyone. Health lesson.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. Avoid being made fun of.
Yeah, Matt was almost a doctor. So
that's right. So
it's somewhat factual information.
That's right.
We should have
I went 3 years of pre-med, so I know about this kind of thing.
A pre-med plug or something.
That's right.
You know?
So if you're not feeling good just let me know. I'll make fun of you until you feel better. So many FX.
Turns out we did have it.
Turns out we do have sound effects, boy.
It
Let's
was
go.
on a different board.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, so Joey can attest to this, and there's a reason I wanted you to fix the light first and come over here, because I wanted to rap about this with you.
Ooh.
And you know,
not
for
that.
facts, that when you first started here, I said to you, I don't want a yes man.
Mm-hmm.
Do not say yes to me.
Yeah.
Do not just obey. Blah. Like, I'd rather throw up. I don't want to work with somebody. I don't even want to be around people that are yes men. Because a yes man is not going to give you their true opinion.
Yeah.
They're just going to say, yes, sir, I'll do what you say. Even though deep down they know there's a better way.
Yeah.
Deep down they know there's something that could be done better. You just say yes. Hate that. I really, really hate that. So from day one, I trained you. I'm like, dude, for a while, I might be right because I know more about this particular subject matter than you do. So for a while, I might be right. Mm-hmm. So like, let's just say, I don't know, let's take something like a tripod, okay? So I'm right about this thing, that you should loosen before you move it, because if you don't do that, it'll break over time. I'm right about that, okay? What I don't mind, though, is you saying, why?
Yeah.
Why is that the case? Oh, well, let me show you the mechanics of it. Okay, boom. Then you might say, cool, have you ever thought about this? And then there might be a better way of whatever the thing is. There might be a better way.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm interested in. That's what I love. And I crave it. This is the reason why I've been hired by companies to literally sit for, this one company hired me for an entire weekend, Joey. I'm talking like 3 days. I just sat and did nothing. Except for it was the most exhausting work I've ever done. Because I was getting paid a lot of money, and there was a lot of pressure at the end of the day when it was my turn to speak up. And I remember specifically the COO, I think is his title. Anyway, this guy that I didn't know very well, and I think was kind of eyeballing me, like why are we paying this dude? You know, like, who's this guy?
He's just sitting in a corner.
Who's this actor coach dude? What do you mean best listener in the room? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm paying him a lot of money. What do you know? And I noticed at the end of this weekend, it was my turn to talk. And then people were like, well, Matt, what do you think? And I could feel this guy. He was like, he wouldn't even make eye contact with me, but I could feel him go, Like, what's he going to say? Like, he better drop some knowledge right now. And then I did. I was listening so intently, taking little tiny notes throughout the entire weekend that I could go back and detail each and every person. It was cool. It was like this whoa moment at the very end of this weekend, you know? And it's like, that's why you're getting paid. And I guarantee you, I made that company money. As a matter of fact, one of the things, they started playing with me because they were like they saw my skill set. And this one guy's like, because I said, well, yeah, or no, they asked me flat out, you know, like, who's what do you think about this person? And I was like, well, to be honest, this is why I'm here. This, and this. And I just laid out the details, and they were like, whoa, like, that's accurate, you know? And I always know who's going to be at the company and who isn't going to be at the company, because I can sense work ethic, and I can sense attitude. I can sense like a certain vibe. And I knew this guy wasn't going to be there very long. But the truth is, he hadn't done the work.
Sure.
So he was presenting, and he was confident, but he was false confident, and it was clear, and it was not attractive. And he performed probably 3 times throughout the weekend, and I'm like, this dude's done. He's done. It's over. So anyway, after that accurate assessment, they were like, who else? Tell us who else. And I'm like, no. You didn't hire me for that.
Yeah, this isn't a game of that.
Yeah, because here's the thing. People get hired for that purpose, and I could get hired for that purpose. But if I were going to be brought in for that purpose, I believe in full transparency. And I would not want to be a spy. I think that's not cool.
Yeah.
But if I'm coming in as some sort of a consultant who is looking to make things more efficient and help you decide who should stay on your team and who shouldn't, I want to be upfront with that, in the beginning. So I'm like, I can't tell you. Mm-hmm. But there's 3 people on your sales team that won't be here in about a month.
And their initials are. Yeah.
So, point is, you got to speak up. When you have something in there, you got to speak up. And what's the thing that's in there? I think the thing that's in there is it's got to come from love, first and foremost. Even if I were to say this guy should be on the chopping block, that could come from love. Because I could say, because I would look for it. He's got a great skill set in X, Y, Z. He doesn't fit into your company because of this, this, and this. He deserves an amazing severance package. You need to give him a glowing recommendation, and he needs to be. And I could talk to him because he needs to be in a company that's like this, because his energy fits this type of company. You're not that company, so his energy is not in alignment with you guys.
Sure.
She, on the other hand, needs a promotion. This girl right here is being overlooked, and she grinds. She works more than her boss. She's doing all the work. I can tell. She's hungry for this. She loves this. She's in alignment with your vision and values. Do not lose track of that employee right there. I highly recommend you give her a raise before you lose her.
Dang. Matt out here giving people fired, giving people raises at companies that are not even his own.
That's right, but think about this. You don't want to be... You don't want to, like, here's the thing about getting fired. I don't know. I don't even believe in that. But I think it's all.
Let go.
You got, you got to feel it, though. Like, here's the deal. When it's time to be let go, you probably know it.
Yeah.
You probably knew it was coming. You're probably already looking at other jobs.
Yeah.
So how could you possibly get upset when you're already shopping the market? I mean, come on now.
Well, I mean, it's different if you're shopping the market and if, reality hits you in the face and then you get fired. Like, it doesn't make it right, but, that's the angle there is it's like, oh, well, I was just looking at my options.
Yeah. I
wasn't gonna, I like my job, and then once you're fired, you like your job again because you want it back.
Yeah.
For a lot of people. Because we've talked about this, but grass is not greener on the other side most of the time.
Ever. It never is. Yeah. Here's the thing. If the grass is greener over on the other side, that's because you weren't around when they were fertilizing. Yeah. And when they were up early and when they were mowing the lawn. And so your side looks all weedy and not good.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I'm going to go over there. But then you bring your weeds over to their yard and then it doesn't look good again.
Well, and it depends on the type of person too, because there's a very small percentage of people who, like you talked about the employee who you said you thought should get a raise, right? That person, if they don't get a raise and they're a good employee and they spend so much time with the company and don't move up even though they're outworking their boss, that's the type of person who the grass would be greener on the other side.
No. Yeah,
no?
I mean, yes and no. Here's the thing. I just read this, actually, and it's very interesting. So even that person, even a boss who's completely selfish and completely self-centered and, doesn't have, best interest at heart, honestly, even that person, this idea, we talked about it yesterday, going the extra mile. When you speak up and when you're vocal about making things better, over time, even that boss is going to give you as a matter of fact, you might get an even bigger payday because you had to wait.
Sure.
So another boss, let's say, would have given you a raise a year ago, 2 years ago. Okay. And so you're like, and instead of getting bitter about it, you're like, okay, I'm going to double down on my going the extra mile. I'm going to double down on speaking up when I know things can be better. I'm going to double down on coming in early and staying late. I'm doubling down. Still didn't go to race. I'm doubling down again.
Yeah. You
become so valuable to the company that this selfish person is so selfish that they couldn't imagine not having you. They couldn't imagine you going to a competitor. So you're going to get paid out big time. So the key is to maintain that mentality. Now, you may get headhunted. I believe that's different. And I'm going to tell you too. There's one of the better. Now, I think things have changed a little bit, but one of the better cultures back in the day when they were first coming up was Netflix. I learned a lot about the Netflix culture when I was working in IT. And what was interesting about the Netflix culture is they would encourage you to look at other jobs. It's a real confidence, like as an employer, to be like, go, like here's the job postings. Take a look. You find something better, go.
Yeah.
We're Netflix. We're doing what we're doing. So you find a better job, better pay, and you think that's better for you, go. Because we're going to recruit the best talent on the planet. And if you are not in alignment with what we're doing, go. And I love that mentality. I mean, like I believe in that, like wholeheartedly. As a matter of fact, you and I have had it probably 2 or 3 times since we started where I always made sure I was in a loving place and a good place and not an angry place. Because if you ever say like, I wonder if you want to work here from a negative, nasty, angry place, you're going to lose the person because you lose all the trust.
Yeah.
But if you get yourself down deep into those feels, to the loving feels, and you say, hey, I want to talk about, do you really want to be here? Like, do you want to do this? Because this is what we're doing. We're going here. Here's the vision. Do you believe in it? Or is this a stepping stone? Because the truth is, you might have a job, but your place is going to be different, whether or not you 100% believe in the vision and you're all in on a company. It's a totally different thing, and we've had those conversations, and they're not easy to have.
No.
But at the same time, they're very necessary.
And they're refreshing, yeah.
Yeah, because it makes you soul search a little bit. And you go down in, and you're like, okay, let me ask that deep question. Why am I here?
Yeah.
Why? Because and this is for everybody, right? Whatever you decide to do, you're going to spend a lot of your time doing that thing. So you should make sure that you know why you're there.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I encouraged you to get a second job back when I wasn't going to pay you more. I could have easily paid you more. Easily. When you first started. The problem was you didn't have a certain mindset that I wanted you to have. So I wanted you to get the second job so I could take you away from it. How stupid is that? But I really did. I was like, because I only want to work with someone who's got that like go-getter attitude, who wants to better themselves. And I'm like, if I'm not paying you enough, go make more money. Like, don't make an excuse. There's so much money in the world. Just go get it.
Yeah.
And as soon as you had that mindset, I'm like, okay, let me take you back.
Yeah.
I'm going to double your hours and double your salary. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Pushing carts, bashes.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Yeah, and you made some mistakes there, honestly. But looking back on it, those are things you can grow from.
Yeah.
100p. Because I got a lot of respect for the old bashes. I'm a big fan. I remember, it's so crazy. I think we've talked about this on this show, but it's been a long time, so I'm going to bring it up again. The way our grandfather got his job at Bash's, which started an entire legacy of our family working there, and the way he got his job is extraordinary. I'm going to tell you all this story. So my grandpa's a meat cutter. He goes through the Great Depression. He owns a meat cutting business, like a store, and goes out of business. Like that doesn't become a thing because the big grocers come through and they sort of take up that thing. Now, of course, Grandpa, love you, but no excuses, bro. You could have made it. But anyway, so he goes out of business, right? Then he becomes a firefighter. He like grinds, but then he didn't have a certain educational level that was required for firefighting. So then he loses that, and he was like rocking it as a firefighter. So now he's like, okay, what am I gonna do? I gotta work. I gotta feed my kids. I had to put a roof over our heads. So he walks into a Bash's, and he looks at the meat counter. Now he's a meat cutter, and he owned his own business doing that. And he just looks at the guy in the eyes, and he says, "I'm gonna work for you for a week, for free. I'd like you to please hire me to work for you for free. If you love my work, if my work is extraordinary, is exceptional, then we're going to make a deal that you're going to hire me at the end of this week. And if not, no big deal. You don't need to pay me a dime. We're all good to go. At the end of that week, we say goodbye. That's balls.
Mm-hmm.
Confidence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
After the first day, he had completely redesigned the entire meat section with new lighting, new ice, and like a new way of doing it that probably they still use today. And after the first day, dude's like, "You're hired." And that's the story. And my grandpa then worked for that company for what, 40, 50 years.
Yeah, a long time.
Okay? Because he spoke up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can help you. I want to help you. Let me do this thing. As a matter of fact, I know one of our grandfather's like most proud moments was that he ended up becoming friends with the owner, with Eddie Basha, the guy that owned the whole thing. You know,
Yeah.
They would go to lunch together and they would talk, and he really respected my grandfather's point of view. And my grandfather's point of view, our grandfather's point of view was I'm gonna enjoy what I do. I'm gonna do it with a smile. I'm gonna give 10x effort, and I'm looking constantly for ways to make things better. And that's somebody Eddie Basha wanted on his team. Smart dude, obviously.
Yeah.
Right? He's done some great things. So when you find talent like that, you just grab onto it.
Mm-hmm.
And who is this, like this lowly meat cutter hanging out with millionaire, like the owner of the company? Why? Because like he took him golfing, like he would do all these nice things for him because like he was smart. He's like, I got to soak up whatever this guy's got to tell me.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
For both of them.
For sure. I love that story.
It's a good story. Makes me proud to be a Deering. Anna Sweeney. I mean, because you come from the same bloodline.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just a different last name.
Yeah.
Same.
I mean, your grandfather,
same thing.
same deal, bro.
Oh yeah, yeah. Grandpa Sweeney is a baller.
Dude, Brian's practically alive because of your Grandpa Sweeney.
Wait, what?
Okay.
I don't think I've heard this one.
Well, okay, so
story
no, you've heard it. Of course, you've heard it. So Brian got this huge loan after his first time he was hurt, or first time he had to go to the hospital, or not loan, free money from a donor who helped pay all the medical bills, helped him get through some of that, like the hardest times. That came from your Grandpa Sweeney because of the work he put in for free, to help some old lady. He was a security guard.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it still is, but he was a security guard at like a place where there were fancy houses, and he would just be the security guard. And he, you know what I mean? He'd do that a couple days a week. He'd work at the golf course a couple days a week. I mean, he liked to work, he liked to do things. He did it with a smile on his face. He made contacts, and this lady's like, "Oh, I wonder if you could help me with whatever." So he starts driving her cars around. He starts driving her cars, like even like across states.
Mm-hmm.
This really rich lady. She just found out what was going on with Brian and just laid down like massive amount of cash.
Dang. No, I didn't know that.
That's like a trade. It's like an amazing thing.
Straight didn't know that. That's cool.
You didn't know that?
No.
Dude,
Nobody ever told me that.
your Grandpa Sweeney, man. He's legit. Your Grandpa Sweeney's legit.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Grandpa Sweeney.
He always gives us a card and it says from Santa. And it's like, we know it's you, but he'll deny that he ever
I love
wrote
that.
It's so funny.
I love that.
And so one Christmas, it was same sort of deal. I think he got like something crazy from that lady, like 50 grand or something. And so
Yeah.
he gave 1,000 to all of his
Boom.
grandchildren. Like so you like open up from Santa, and I was like, what? Never seen that much money in my life.
Santa been working.
13 or 14 years old. I was like, dang.
Yeah.
Bought a quad.
There you go. So that's the
Drove
same.
that
That's
for
the same
4
idea,
years.
right?
Yeah.
And now here's what you want to do. Someone like your Grandpa Sweeney. You take the you take the principles there, and you go, okay, when I get money, I got to do what Grandpa Sweeney does. If I want to be Grandpa Sweeney successful, I got to do what he does. What's the first thing he does? He gives. You got to give it away, or else more of it doesn't keep coming. That's how it works. So he's giving away his time, talent. He's putting a smile on his face. He's making other people feel good. And when he's in need or even not in need, just a gift, it just comes to him. I mean, that's amazing. And then first thing he does, give it away. I love that. That's a cool story.
Yeah. It was really neat. I mean, everybody spent it in their own different ways.
Yeah.
Which was cool. But I got to take my grandpa on the quad, so that was dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was like 2 years after I got it. He finally came to Wickenburg. And my dad and I took him four-wheeling. And he was like, he had so much fun, but he would deny it. All day. He would say it was terrible. It was really, really fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that, dude. Great story.
Yeah, you were like Grandpa Sweeney would do it with a smile on his face, and I was like, well, you know, he'd do it with a lot of sarcasm, but you know that the smile, if it's not there, is like under.
Yeah. So
You know?
here's the thing, and
So it's
that comes back
different.
down to listening, right?
Yeah.
I can probably Grandpa Sweeney and I have some things in common because I've been known to be sarcastic with people I love.
Oh yeah.
And so I think that's why I like him so much is I talk his language.
Yeah.
So like when he calls Brian Kojak and like, just the funny things that I think they're hilarious. And I feel the love.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I call him Grandpa every time I see him.
That's awesome.
Like he's my grandpa as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I always play the opposite end because I don't speak his language, so I always make him super uncomfortable by loving him too much.
No wonder you and
And
I have a hard time sometimes.
So he'll like throw one of those nicknames and be like, "Oh, you didn't get lost on the way here," and I'll be like, "Grandpa, I love you so much," and he can't help but smile.
That's
But you can
good.
tell like he hates it. It's
That's
so
good.
funny.
That's good. Yeah, that's amazing.
I finally got a counterattack.
There
on
you
him.
go.
Yeah.
Instead of taking offense to it.
Yeah, which I did for my whole life. I thought my grandpa hated me.
That's
I was like,
hilarious.
Dang.
When was the realization? Was it recently?
No, well, I mean,
Since working here?
Recently, I learned how to deal with it.
Was it since working here?
Yeah. But,
Really?
But I
Well, I wonder if this was even a conversation we had. I don't even remember.
realized, I realized he didn't dislike me. Like I wasn't his least favorite or anything when I was like 16 or 17. It was like my dad sort of talked to me and he was like, yeah, no, he's just super sarcastic and he's never going to say that, he's never going to say you did something good. But if you listen, like you'll hear that's what he's saying by insulting you.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, oh, makes sense.
Yeah. And what's interesting is you'll actually you can even go next level with this because you'll the compliment you seek so badly you'll get by being straight up honest.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always been a struggle.
Yeah.
So if he's like, you're gonna get lost on the way here, losty man, or whatever, and why did he say it? Let's say he said it because you got lost one time on the way there.
I didn't even.
But let's just say you did. Let's just say you did, or you got lost in some way, shape, or form. You're already mad about it. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's so funny.
It's so funny.
No, it's because the whole story is blown out of proportion. Him and my dad and
There
I
is a story.
went to Nebraska.
There is a story. This is so funny.
We went to Nebraska, and we stopped in some rando town at a gas station, and you called me, and so I answered your phone call because I was outside of the car.
Okay.
And then they drove off. And I was at the gas station, but they pulled into the Arby's. So I walked over to the Arby's, but I'm walking, they drove.
Yeah.
So then they get to Arby's, and then he's like, what, did you get lost? And I'm like, I was on the phone. B, you drove away like to Arby's, and ever since then, apparently I got lost. And I was just like, it gets me so heated because I was like, I didn't get lost. I got left. like same starts with same letter, different word there. It's I got left while you guys went to Arby's and I met you there. But the joke was they already had their sandwiches, but it's like it's Arby's. It's not like they went to Chili's and like ordered food. Like they went up to the menu and the burgers are ready already. So they had their hamburgers. It's not like they were eating them yet. Like, it's just so funny.
You got a lot of pain there.
Yeah, I really do. It's just lies, man.
Okay,
I never
no.
got lost.
All right. So hear me out. Okay.
All right.
That you've got 2 lessons to take away here. Yeah, it's not that kind of lesson. It's not like a drum roll, but I appreciate the sound effect anyway. So the first lesson is this. If you don't let it get to you, there and only there can you hear the truth.
Yeah.
But the problem is you're letting it get to you and you're hearing only the surface. You're only seeing the surface. You're not actually trying to seek ways for you to get better. So I don't know what I was calling about. I don't know why you needed to answer or whatever the case.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say it was good or bad that you answered the phone.
Uh-huh.
I want to say it's good because it was me calling, but I'm not going to even say that. Okay. I don't know what the why is.
Yeah.
Here's what they did, bro. They left on purpose. Yo, you with me?
Yeah.
Grandpa Sweeney, they leave on purpose.
Uh-huh.
All they do is drive from there to there. They saw the look on your face of like, where are they? I'm lost. I'm left. I'm alone. The lesson is this. Even if you answer your phone, don't ever make the phone the most important thing. Don't ever lose sight of what's the most important thing. And in that particular case, when you're whatever age you were, was it 14?
Yeah. Something
Okay.
like that, 14, 15.
The lesson is keep your awareness. Make sure you're always aware. Because like I know when I'm driving, for instance, I'm always aware of everything. I'm always checking mirrors. I think I've gone over this with you before. But like I'm always looking. I know if there's a cop. I know if there's someone coming up in my blind spot. Like I know because I've never lose track of the most important thing, which is making sure I don't crash my car.
Yeah.
Okay. That allows me to relax. So you could be on the phone, and if you're in a hyper awareness state, if you're completely listening, you would see them pull away,
Yeah.
and it wouldn't bother you.
Yeah.
Because you'd watch them pull away. You'd be on the phone. You wouldn't even have to hang up.
Yeah.
You could keep listening and follow their car. And if you did that, Grandpa would have noticed, and he'd have been like, he'd have brought some other lesson up. He'd have been like, talking on your phone too much to get you left behind, whatever it is. So then you want to go, okay, what is he really trying to tell me? Because honestly, I believe that was actually a loving move. But then to this day, here's why it keeps getting brought up is because you keep caring and keep fighting. And from working with me,
Yeah.
as soon as you lean into it, it's over.
Yeah.
It's not fun to go into anymore. So you want to be like, not lost, left.
Yeah.
But he wants you to get, you could have been. You could have been lost, young man. So be aware of your surroundings.
Sure.
What if we accidentally left without you? What if we didn't do it on purpose and we didn't just go over to Arby's? But what if we accidentally pulled out and you're by yourself? What if you're someplace else and you're not aware of your surroundings and somebody comes up behind you with a gun? Like, what if you're not aware? Be aware, young man. Like, that's the lesson trying to get put through.
Interesting.
Yeah. But then it becomes this long thing. Why?
Yeah.
Because you fight against it. And the fight against it ends up becoming like, okay, I'm going to keep, you want to stay on this thing? I'll stay on this thing. Because that's where we're at now. Like, that's how that personality works.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I mean, I have to be his favorite, though. I mean, that's just the truth. Because I'm the only grandkid who has gotten 2 nicknames. There you go. Everybody else got one their whole life. I was Joker until that day. And now I'm slow talking Jones.
Why are you slow talking?
It's a song, I guess. It's slow talking, slow walking, quick to get lost. That's what he always says. That's what he always says when he says hello to me.
I think your grandpa's so funny. That's hilarious to me. Dude, that's okay. Yeah. That's so great though. It's so great. So guess what? Think about that. What was your nickname before that?
Joker, which was funny because I used to talk about the fact that like I never told him this, but I would tell my dad and them. I would be like, "Yeah, I'm the only one that actually likes his nickname." You know? And then that came to bite me in the face when Jones showed up.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. But guess what?
What?
The next big thing, your nickname could change. That's how that works.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
So now you're hanging on to this thing until you don't got to hang on to it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
So how do you lean into that? This is what's interesting. How do you lean into it? I would listen to the song, memorize the song. When he says it, I would sing back to him. I would talk slow when you don't really talk slow. You know what I mean? Like and he'll get that you get it. Mm-hmm. And then it will cease to be as much fun. He'll still do it because but it will become a different nickname, a loving nickname, one that you really, really like love. Mm-hmm. And when that happens, he'll keep doing it, or he'll move to a new one for a new lesson, for a new fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, when you got COVID, I went and got my test, and he called me like 2 hours after, and it's so funny because I know my dad, like he only calls me when my dad tells him something about me, and then he'll call me about it and act like he doesn't know, which is really funny.
That's hilarious.
But he called, and he was like, so I heard you got a negative COVID test. He was like, you found a place, you didn't get lost. It's like every time, something like that. It's so funny.
So then what you do is you go, no, I found the place, but then I answered my phone and someone took my car.
See, that's funny. I did something similar. I played the game. I was like, well, Grandpa, luckily for me, you know, it's pandemic, so there's one on every corner.
That's hilarious.
And
I could see my apartment from the COVID test. Otherwise, I'd have been stranded, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's great. Yeah, exactly. See, there you go. You dive in, you play the game. This
Over
is so
the
interesting.
years, I've gotten better at it, but definitely when it originated, it was a sore spot for a while.
But even now, I could feel it. I could feel that it was still a sore spot, but I feel like now it's been lifted a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is cool. Because, okay, let me give you a Corona example. Okay.
Corona.
So it's not fun to have coronavirus. It's not fun, and now it's like better because so many people have had it. But you know when people first got coronavirus, it was like you got the Rona.
Yeah.
Like you're a Rona person.
Did you see Kevin Hart's special on it?
No.
Oh my gosh, he did a stand-up comedian bit.
That's funny.
Like first one in year or two, and he did it in his house.
Did he have coronavirus?
He had a select amount of people in his house to do the show, and he has he starts off with a 20-minute segment, and he just starts off. He's like, let's discuss the elephant in the room, COVID.
That's great.
And then he goes on, and he has so many funny jokes about it. But basically, he had it in the very, very beginning when Tom Hanks had it.
Sure.
And he was like, and I had to keep that stuff hidden. Like I couldn't tell nobody. Tom Hanks come out, the world come around him, but Tom Hanks is a bigger star than me, so I can't tell nobody that. It's so funny. And then he goes, now if somebody else had it, like David Hasselhoff, nobody cares about David Hasselhoff. He was like, I'm dropping that on Twitter. Kevin Hart has COVID. And he goes on for like 20 minutes.
No, that's so true.
Funny.
That's so true. Yeah, for real. Yeah. That's really funny. Truth in comedy, bud. Truth in comedy. So here's what I was going to say, though, right? So I get locked in my room when I have COVID because my family didn't get it, which almost honestly made it harder because then I had to quarantine from my family. So I'm locked in my master bedroom for 2 weeks. And essentially, my wife kind of goes through one day and she just looks at me and she's like, oh, babe, it stinks in here.
What?
It stinks in here,
oh.
she says, right? And it did. You know, it stunk in there. It was me living in one room for a long time. And at first I wanted to fight her, you know? And then I was like, yeah, this place is riddled with Corona. It's just everywhere. I'm like, this is the Corona room. It stinks like Corona in here. I'm like, I'll open the door. I'm so sorry, babe. But me leaning into it, it's interesting. It goes away.
Yeah.
If I fought her, I was like, yeah, well, I'm sick, you know? Like if I got mad about it and whatever, then it doesn't work. But the truth is, it was stinky.
Yeah.
Corona's not, it doesn't bring out all the best in us.
Oh man,
brings out the toots, Joey.
Yeah, and your farts are the worst.
They are.
They really are.
They're horrific.
My favorite thing that I haven't seen in months is he always goes up to Brian when he's on his laptop and just farts in his area and then walks away.
The problem is that doesn't work well when I'm on a healthy diet, which I am right now.
Yeah,
and I probably will be permanently. So my bad farts might be a thing of the past.
Dang.
I know.
You might have to.
Maybe I'll need like a cheat day just so I can fart on Brian for you.
You might have to pull 1 or 2 of those out just to fart on Brian. Yeah, because crop dusting Brian is one of the best things that happen. Because he's so gullible.
He reacts so big.
So you are he's in the other room like on a beanbag. I'm gonna be Brian. And then Matt comes in.
Is the camera on you?
He yeah.
Okay, good.
He asks like a random question. So like, go ahead.
Hey Brian, what you working on?
I'm doing the social media right now.
Are you really, or are you just playing around on your computer?
No, I'm doing social media. Getting some influencers on the show.
But are you really, or are you just playing around on there?
I mean,
like,
my
could you
job is
could you show me what you've been doing?
Yeah, I mean, I talked to these people, and I was in these comments, and I've learned a lot actually.
But do you also have Netflix pulled up?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I've been watching The Arrow.
So you double. You're doing that multitask thing we talked about.
Well, what I was actually doing is I was looking at the cast.
And meanwhile, I have farted on it.
Yeah, and then you get triggered or heated, and you walk out of the room, and then 30 seconds later, you just hear, "Ah, oh, Matt, did you fart in here?" And he's like, "It's unbearable," and he'll like come out with his laptop. And he's like, he makes such a big deal. Yeah, he walks in, then he like places it down. It's so funny.
And the funny part is, like, I wasn't even curious if he was not doing his work. That was just a way for me to buy time to fart on him. But then it turns out he wasn't doing his work, and then it turns out he was lying. Then it turns into a fight. It's like, oh man, I was just trying to fart on you.
And then it's like I feel like you gotta turn the camera on yourself and be like, all right, how much am I at fault here? For he may have been doing this thing, he may have been lying, but why did I really come in here
to fart on you?
like I'm not blameless in this situation.
Oh, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. It's massively my fault.
And the thing about it is,
and it's just like, to entertain you.
Nobody would know. Nobody would know that's why you went in there.
Well, that's the problem when there's not 3 of us.
Yeah, sure.
Because think about this. The only reason I do that would be to entertain you.
Yeah.
Because then you're like, hilarious. But then if not, I'm like, I might as well fart in my own space.
You just sit there and
woe is me.
Sadly smell your own fart.
All right, we've divulged here.
We've divulged, but we divulged into such a great, like fun...
Mm-hmm.
Fun topics.
Yeah,
here.
and well, let's leave everybody with this. So when somebody speaks up, say thank you. Even if you say thank you internally, say thank you. So this will be for you. When you hear that sarcasm or you hear that whatever it is, do your best to go, what's the lesson here? Because they always say, like, there's always a hidden truth underneath when people say things, and so someone says something and you're like, yeah, but there's a hidden truth that you're kidding, but there's a hidden truth. If you believe the person loves you, then there's a positive hidden truth deep down inside there someplace. And I could go off on your grandpa if him and I wanted to sit down and chat. Him and I could both grow.
Yeah.
From not being sarcastic. Like, we could both get better at that thing.
Yeah.
But I'm not here talking to him. I'm here talking to you. So I can tell you how you can grow and how you can take those same moments in stride, let them roll right off your shoulder because you decide to hear the love. You choose to hear the love, and then you get to lean into it, and you get to have fun with everybody else instead of feeling like you're being picked on, when the truth is that's never his intention in the first place.
Yeah.
you know,
Sure.
is not to make you like sad the entire rest of the trip. That's not the intention.
Yeah. I think I just gotta say it. Another story. So.
Oh no.
So.
The dimples are out. This is gonna be good.
You know me. Cardinals, man.
Yeah.
Cardinals. My grandpa loves the Cardinals. I know he loves the Cardinals.
Okay.
He acts like he hates the Cardinals to me. And we watched a couple of games together.
You see,
and
every joke
fun.
makes me laugh. Of
Yeah,
your grandpas.
but okay. So this is 3 or 4 weeks ago now. We're playing the Bills, and he calls after they drive down the field and score the touchdown, and there's 30 seconds left on the clock.
Uh-huh.
And he calls my dad and I on speaker, and he's like, how bad is your team? I was trying to make us feel so bad. We're sitting there already feeling bad. And then that Hail Mary pass gets thrown and Hopkins catches it, and I just hit the button and I'm like, how about that, Grandpa? Like, and I was thinking, I was like, that's not like, it's not good to rub it in somebody's face, but like, it felt so good. It felt so good to flip it, because like that's one of those instances where you're right. The love was there, because actually he probably was mad as I was about the loss.
Dude, he 100% was.
Cardinals.
He 100% was. Here's the thing. Here's the difference, though.
It's funny to see
when
somebody
you hit him
else's-
when you hit him back. Here's the problem. When you hit him back, you did it for revenge.
Yes.
When he hit you, he did it for love.
Interesting. Yeah.
So if you'd have done it from love, you'd have called back and been like, I know you like that play. I know you love that play, Grandpa.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you can pretend like you don't love the Cardinals, but it's real hard when Hopkins jumps up in the middle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's a different braggadociousness, because if you'd have heard the first one as love, you can respond in love.
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, it just goes back to common sense. When you look at the history of like, does Grandpa love me? Like, bro, people
Yeah.
don't put $1,000 checks in envelopes and not take any credit for it when they don't love you.
Yeah.
Like, it don't happen.
Facts.
Right? So like you're loved beyond belief. Therefore, everything, and I don't care what it is, every freaking thing he says or does comes from love, even when he's wrong.
Yeah.
Even when he's screwing up, even when he does something that's totally out of line, and I would agree with you and go, you know what, your grandpa's wrong in this case. He didn't do it out of spite, revenge, hate, disdain to make you feel. He did it from love, even when he's wrong. And maybe he's not there yet where he can admit that he's wrong. Okay, fine. But you can see it. You can be smart enough to know, dude freaking loves me. So whatever he says comes from love. Let me react in love, even if I play the game or I whatever, but my reaction can come from the same source that his comes from.
Yeah.
The fact that he calls you the second it happens, right? Like, that means you're on his mind.
Yeah, that's true.
He's loving you to the highest
Yeah.
degree. He's not like he cares about you during the game above everybody else enough to call you.
Yeah.
And he's saying, how bad is your team right now? And what he means is, that sucked, huh?
Yeah.
Like, that, I thought we were gonna win. Like, that's what he's really saying. And then you just go, yeah, but you know what? Team's bad. I haven't lost faith, Grandpa. Love you. Gotta go. Kyler Murray needs me.
Yeah.
Whatever. And you hang up, and then it's like it's a same game, but different feeling behind it.
Facts.
All right, this is deep. That's deep stuff.
I
We
thought
should
you
do an episode like this where I translate families' interactions with each other.
Yeah.
I think that'd be kind of
That's
cool.
funny.
Like, whoever wants to be on the show and be like, all right, so my dad says this to me. I'll be like, oh, cool. He means this.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, that's our show. Don't forget to speak up. When you got something on your heart, something real, something true, speak up. You should always listen more, speak less. But when that thing is there, don't hold back as long as it's coming from love. If you have some way to help to make people better, you have a responsibility to say it out loud, to speak up, to shed your light and be a light in this world. All right. Thank you for watching. This has been the Mornings with Matt show, the Deering Acting Studio podcast. Please do not forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, help us spread this light-driven content to the planet. Thanks so much, and God bless.
Thanks for listening to Mornings with Matt. Please like, subscribe, and follow us at Deering Acting Studio to keep up with the latest content. For more information on classes, private lessons, or professional development coaching, visit www.deeringstudio.com. Have a Deering day, everyone.